Using this, you can create the most delicious homemade probiotic rich drinks. Look at all of those bubbles. So good. Way better than the canned stuff. This is natural soda and we're making it from scratch. And today I'm going to show you how to turn your favorite drink into a naturally carbonated, probiotic rich homemade soda without a soda machine, without any artificial sweeteners, no artificial flavors, and it's packed with probiotics. Your favorite juice, a simple 3-ingredient starter, and a little patience is all it takes to make your own probiotic rich fizzy drinks. First step to making your own naturally carbonated drinks is to make a ginger bug. Think of it like a sourdough starter, but for soda. Instead of using commercial yeast or a carbonation machine, we're creating a wild fermentation starter with fresh ginger, sugar, and water. I'm going to walk you through exactly how to make your ginger bug, how to maintain it, how to know when it's ready, and how to use it to make the most delicious homemade natural soda. And I'm also going to show you how to make a turmeric bug. You don't see this often, but it's almost exactly the same as making a ginger bug, and it creates the best bubbly drinks. Stay tuned till the end, and I'll show you how to make my favorite hibiscus tea, raspberry lemonade, homemade ginger ale, everyone's favorite, and a homemade digestive blend that's perfect for after a meal. And yes, we're going day by day so you can see exactly what it's supposed to look like. To start, you only need 3 ingredients: fresh ginger, sugar, and water to create and feed the ginger bug. The fresh ginger naturally carries wild yeast and bacteria on its surface, and when you add sugar and water, those microbes start feeding, multiplying, and producing carbon dioxide. That carbon dioxide is what gives fermented soda its natural bubbles. For the ginger, I like to use organic when possible because we're relying on the natural microbes on the skin, and non-organic ginger is often treated with pesticides or sprayed with growth inhibitors that can kill the wild yeast living naturally on the skin, the very microbes we need to kickstart a healthy fermentation. I don't peel the ginger, I just rinse it well and chop it or grate it. For sugar, plain cane sugar works best, or types of cane sugar from unrefined options like jaggery to more processed ones like granulated white sugar. This is not the time for stevia or monk fruit because the microbes need real sugar to feed on, and these options do not contain fermentable sugar. I personally have had success using honey. It works, but keep in mind that it may take longer for your ginger bug to ferment. And remember, much of the sugar is consumed during fermentation by the wild yeast and beneficial bacteria. It essentially feeds the microbes, which then create beneficial compounds and natural carbonation, so it doesn't result in an ultra sugary drink. Now for the water, I recommend filtered water. If your tap water has a lot of chlorine, it can slow down fermentation because chlorine is designed to kill microbes, including the ones we're trying to grow. Spring water, alkaline water, filtered water, or any non-chlorinated water works. Before we make the ginger bug, I want to quickly talk about why fermented soda is so special. It's not just like any other fizzy drink. Because this is a living ferment, it can support gut health by introducing beneficial microbes and encouraging more microbial diversity in the gut. And a more diverse gut microbiome is connected to better digestion, immune function, and overall gut balance. I also love that you get to control the ingredients. You choose the fruits, the herb, the tea, the sweetness level, so you end up with a refreshing soda that feels fun, flavorful, and super intentional. Instead of buying soda loaded with artificial flavors and excessive sugar, we're creating something naturally bubbly and supportive for the body. Now, let's start with this ginger bug because that's the foundation for every drink we're making. Here, I'm using a scale, but you don't have to. You can completely eyeball this. Start by grating your ginger. You'll need 1 tablespoon or about 8 grams of grated or chopped ginger. Honestly, I usually eyeball it, but you can see just how much filled up a tablespoon. Then you'll need a tablespoon of sugar or about 13 grams. You'll add that to a jar with 1 cup of water. You can easily double or triple the recipe. Stir everything together really well and cover it. For this video, I'm testing 3 different jar setups. Remember, we're getting very detailed in this video so you can see what works best. The first jar is covered with a cloth. This allows airflow while keeping dust and little particles out. It's the most common and traditional method, but because it's more exposed to air, you want to stir it at least once or twice a day. The second jar uses an airtight lid. This builds up pressure from the CO2, so you need to open the jar daily to release the gas. Otherwise, you could end up with a very messy situation. Ginger bugs do like and need a little airflow, especially in the early days. It helps the yeast grow, so using an airtight seal is not the traditional method. That said, some experienced fermenters swear by this method and get great results, so I wanted to include it as an option for you to try. The third jar has a silicone fermentation lid. It lets the CO2 escape on its own as pressure builds up, so you're not going to end up with a cracked jar or an overflow situation. It still keeps out dust and anything else you don't want getting into your ginger bug while letting the bug breathe just enough to keep fermentation happy. Now, these are all three and they are ready to go. I'm going to show you now how to make my favorite turmeric bug. It follows the exact same process as the ginger bug. You're just swapping out the ginger for fresh turmeric root. You feed it daily with fresh turmeric, sugar, stir it every day. Everything's the same. The one thing you will notice straight away is that vibrant golden orange color from the curcumin and the turmeric. I just love the way it looks, and turmeric also has its own unique beneficial properties. I'm covering this one with a cloth following the traditional method, and let's see how it progresses. This is how it looks on day 1. Now, day 2. Every day I feed the ginger bug with 1 tablespoon of fresh ginger and 1 tablespoon of sugar. I also stir once or twice a day. Stirring helps redistribute the sugar, moves oxygen through the mixture early on, and prevents ginger pieces from sitting too long on the surface. Day 2 looks boring, but this is normal. For the first 3 days, you may not see much, and don't let that worry you. During this stage, the wild yeast and bacteria are slowly waking up, multiplying, and adjusting their environment. Around day 4, the activity usually starts to pick up. That's when you begin to see bubbles, cloudier liquid, and ginger pieces floating toward the top. This is a sign that carbon dioxide is being produced and fermentation is becoming more active. It's important to keep feeding your ginger bug every day and stir for at least 30 to 60 seconds. Stirring moves the sugar and ginger around and gives the microbes better access to the food they need to keep growing. For the turmeric bug, I noticed that by day 3, it had a lot more visible activity. You can see more bubbles, more movement, and hear fizzing. Turmeric can sometimes take off a little faster because it has its own natural sugars, starches, and wild microbes for fermentation to work with. So if your turmeric bug is bubbling before your ginger bug, that's completely normal. Wild fermentation moves at its own pace, and each root brings a slightly different microbial environment. Now, when we look at the ginger bug on day 3, you'll see that there's very minimal activity. No bubbles yet and not much movement, but that doesn't mean anything is wrong. It's still building strength, and with daily feeding, the activity will start to pick up, as you see here in day 4. This is when things get exciting. You'll notice the ginger starts floating toward the top. This happens because carbon dioxide bubbles cling to the ginger pieces and lift them up. The ginger acts almost like a loose mesh, so bubbles get trapped between the pieces before they rise to the surface. When you stir or tap the jar, you'll often see bubbles release, which is such a satisfying sign that fermentation is active. This is exactly what you want to see. The liquid may be slightly cloudy, the smell should be gingery, slightly yeasty, and a little tangy, and the bubbles and fizzy sound tell you your wild yeast colony is starting to establish itself. You can technically start using your ginger bug here, but I personally like to wait a little bit longer. Day 5 can work, but I find that waiting till around day 6 or 7 gives the starter more strength, which usually means better carbonation and a drink that actually fizzes. By day 6, you're seeing lots of activity. The ginger rises more easily. You may see bubbles collecting around the edges of the jar or between ginger pieces. You can totally use your ginger bug this day. But for the purpose of the video, I'm going to show you the ginger bug after a week. So we're going to go to day 7. I also want to note that I do feed my ginger bug with water as well every 3 days or so. You don't have to do this, especially during the first week, but I like to add water because when you add sugar, it gets syrupy over time and you don't want the liquid to get too syrupy or that'll slow down fermentation. So adding the water keeps everything balanced. And now we made it to day 7 and the ginger bug is ready to use. And one thing to know is that it may not be violently bubbly every second. Sometimes it looks calmer right before feeding, but it doesn't mean it isn't active. What I'm looking for is lightly cloudy liquid, a pleasant ginger yeast smell, small bubbles when stirred, and ginger that rises and falls with feeding cycles. At this stage, the ginger bug has developed enough microbial activity to start fermenting drinks. And making the drinks couldn't be any easier. To make soda, you'll strain some of the active ginger bug. You'll need about 1/3 of a cup to 2/3 of a cup of your active ginger bug. I like to use 1 cup. Just keep in mind that the more active starter, the faster your drink ferments. Then you'll add the strained ginger bug to the sweetened drink base. This can be lemonade, cooled herbal tea, organic bottled fruit juice, or a ginger syrup base, which is my favorite to make ginger ale or ginger beer. The key is that the drink needs some sugar because the microbes need something to feed on in order to create that carbonation. Then you'll pour it into a fermentation-safe swing top bottle, making sure to leave at least an inch of space at the top. One of the most important things here here is that the drink you use is room temperature. Hot drinks will completely kill the microbes and you won't have any fermentation activity. Seal the jar, and I like to give it a gentle shake to make sure everything is mixed together. Then I let it sit at room temperature for about 2 to 5 days, depending on how warm your kitchen is and how active your ginger bug is. During that time, the microbes continue feeding on the sugar and producing carbon dioxide. Because the bottle is sealed, that gas gets trapped, which creates natural carbonation. This part is really important. When you're fermenting soda in sealed bottles, you need to burp the jars daily. That means just opening the bottle to slowly release the pressure, then sealing it again. If it's too much carbon dioxide buildup, the bottle can overflow or in rare cases burst, especially in a warm kitchen, or burst when it opens like you see here. And yes, it can get messy. Once the soda is bubbly as you like, move it to the fridge. The cold slows fermentation way down and helps preserve the flavor and carbonation. And that's how you make natural sodas at home using a ginger bug. It's fun, busy, it's alive, and once you learn the method, you can create so many flavors. And the best part is, once you have an active ginger bug, you can keep it going. After making these drinks, I combine my remaining ginger bugs into one jar and continue feeding it like normal with about 1 tablespoon of fresh ginger and 1 tablespoon of sugar. Any ginger pieces that came out when I strained the bug for the drinks, I just discarded it since they've already done their job. From here, you can keep feeding your ginger bug daily if you plan to use it often, or store it in the fridge and feed it about once a week to maintain it. That way, whenever you're ready to make another batch of naturally fizzy soda, your starter is ready to go. And you'll do the exact same thing for the turmeric bug, feeding it daily to keep it alive. Once you master the basics, it's one of the easiest ways to naturally enhance any of your favorite drinks. You can find these recipes, written instructions, and answers to all the common ginger bug questions in my new ebook, All About the Ginger Bug. There, I share recipes, photos, answer all your questions, and even include troubleshooting tips so you can turn any of your favorite drinks into naturally probiotic bubbly soda. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'd love to have you a part of the community. And the ginger ale, my friends, you won't go back to the canned stuff, I promise. The raspberry lemonade might be my favorite, but they're also good.